So the loyalty switch was this idea that we wanted to get all the loyalty brains out of a point of sale for fuel retail. If you wanted to connect loyalty to a gas station, you'd have to do all this integration at the point of sale. Our thought was really just to build one pipe into the point of sale, let it connect to what we call the loyalty switch. Like in layman's terms, it's like a router. So information can come to it and it could then route information to multiple different partners. Think of it as like a hub that's got a bunch of spokes. Information like a loyalty ID. So if a consumer entered their phone number at a fuel retailer, that phone number would come from the point of sale to our loyalty switch. And then we could then ask all partners that are connected to us if they know who this ID is and if they had any value, if that ID had any value. If that phone number was connected to, let's say, a grocery program, we could say like, hey, this phone number's here, and the grocery host, whoever controls that program, says, yeah, this ID has 5 cents off a gallon. And then we could say, all right, cool, let's take this loyalty ID and send it to, a major oil. And that ID goes to the major oil, and major oil says, no, I don't know who that is. And then we say, okay. Then we take that phone number again and we route it to the local operators, like Vic's oil. Let's say they have 5 cents off a gallon. So then the switch says, cool, we have 2 programs that identified this loyalty ID and they have rewards available. So what the switch does, it says, all right, cool, let's stack those together and let's give the consumer 10 cents off a gallon by stacking the rewards from 2 different programs. Retailers need that flexibility because they have more than one program. Usually, if you are a multi-branded retailer, meaning you're flying multiple major oil brands, or you're just someone that has multiple programs, you could use that ID to route to all the different partners and start to stack those rewards. There's a lot more to the loyalty switch, but the most basic things are taking an ID and being able to let it run to different partners and see what value is associated. And if there is value, then they can stack those together. If there's not, then it's just going to go to the one that's the priority. Down the consumer experience, like today, if you fly, multiple major oil brands and you have your own local loyalty program, on the pump, it says like program A, program B, program C, and you got to select as a consumer. It's kind of stupid. As a consumer, you're kind of like, this is my phone number. I should be able to get the benefit of all programs. So when you turn on the switch, you can do things by saying like, just enter your loyalty ID. And if that phone number is associated with multiple programs, you're going to get that benefit. And we tell you, like in the receipt or in messaging, that you got 5 cents from here, 10 cents from here. But it's a better experience versus the local guy competing with the major oil on the consumer picking which program they want to participate in. That doesn't make sense, especially moving forward. These major oils and the franchisees or the operators, they're trying to live in some type of harmony. And so the flexibility that this brings is a logical option moving forward. The consumer experience is nice, and it is all on the back end. It's an IP and port from the point of sale. So you're making a configuration, you're pressing some buttons, and then everything is moving to the cloud. And then from there, we're configuring where IDs should be going, if a host is PCI compliant, if they're not, all those types of things. Historically, consumers are going to be in their app. They're going to be put their phone number in, and look, depending on the retailer, the size, the following, different customers act in different ways. So our thought was, however you as a consumer want to interact with the retailer, we should allow for that to happen. So if you were an app customer and you want to scan your barcode or you want to mobile pay, great. If you want to type in your phone number, which by the way is significant, the data is, app phone number is huge. So we account for that. And then the third is you just want to enter your card and be done. Like you enter your card and we know who you are because we've tokenized that card and we've associated with some unique ID. And then, yeah, we can be like, hey, you have, this reward, go get your bottle of water inside, or whatever it may be, or inside, you can redeem this. That is the idea. That's how it works. And then credit card enrollment is sort of comes into that piece where you swipe your card, you're not in any program, and we then prompt you to enroll. And we can ask you, do you want to use that card as your loyalty ID? And then that consumer could just enter their card anytime they're there, and it's going to be the same experience as if they're entering their phone number or using the app. What we've identified now is that different features of the switch have different value propositions for customers. So if you're a major oil, the switch has a ton of value because your ability to make changes, in real time for different programs and different sites is really, really valuable. Stacking, when you have multiple programs, a ton of value. If you're a multi-branded operator, this is also valuable because you then can have one place that manages multiple programs. What we have found, though, is that we've identified that there are so many other features of the loyalty switch that we've added that it has value for all customers. So like we may have a 30-site chain in Texas, and that switch, it allows us to add things like our Pay with Points program or a credit card enrollment program. What we're realizing is not only can we give it to the major oils and larger operators that really need that flexibility, but for some of these regional players, the switch has a ton of value because you can stack all these other programs into it, like Pay with Points from banks, do credit card enrollment where a consumer swipes their credit card and they're not in the program, so we automatically prompt them to sign up. All those things become features that are easily added because we have that switch architecture in place. So now for us moving forward, we're not only selling it to the majors and the larger operators. If you're a C-store customer of ours, you're getting it. Like there's not even a question. Like you're going to get it because in the future, you're going to want that flexibility, and we have no problem giving it to you and then starting to build some of these other programs to help. The patent, it's actually been a patent for multiple years, and it was updated. So we updated the terms in the patent. So it was amended, and really what the patent covers is the idea that you can take a message, and in our case it's a loyalty message, and you can route that ID in any code. It's not have to be fuel loyalty. But you can take that message and you can route it to different partners. And the second patent is that you can stack it. So in essence, there's two patents. One is just the idea that you could take a loyalty ID and route it to different partners, based on a priority or some reason that you've put in place. The second, if you will, is the fact that now we can take those IDs and we can, if there's value, we could stack those together and push it down. So it was really cool to get the patent. It's not something you think about that your name's in the U.S. Patent Office or whatever it is. But it's cool because it's me, Mirko, Ray, Luke, and so it's kind of a fun little thing that we have our name associated to. And again, we think not only is it cool to have, but it's super valuable in terms of the tech. Like that flexibility is really, really cool. And the big thing is like payment is now associated in there. So using like credit cards and debit cards as loyalty IDs, that's coming through the switch. So that makes, if you and I are at a gas station and if we just swipe our card, or, we want that to be it. Like we don't want to waste our time. And so now, that switch can handle those types of interactions, which it can. It makes it really, really valuable. Yeah. So the patent was awesome to do. And, I think we'll continue. We're working on a new patent around kind of an AI algorithm for loyalty. So hopefully we can do another LinkedIn post with that picture. There's multiple value propositions. The original of stacking has been in place, for multiple years with some larger oil partners. The main thing I would say is the ability to stack, but all these companies go through major changes in their loyalty programs every few years. And the challenge that they have is there's a ton of blocking and tackling at the point of sale and fuel retail level. So with our partners, that's all gone, right? They don't have to worry about that anymore. I got an email last night that said that, hey, for this retailer, 70 sites were moved over overnight. It was our team that said, these are the sites, flip it over, go. That instant change, especially because there's so many changes going on in the engagement side. There's new tech, there's new ideas. Everybody wants to go do all these things. When you're stuck with 8,000 sites or even 100 sites, and it takes you months, if not years, to make that change. By the time you're done, you've already missed the boat because there's something cool that's coming. So now we could be like, cool, let's go test 70 sites with this new idea. It fails, great, flip it, do something else. It's working, scale. And I think that's where we're seeing a ton of value. And then the other part that we're doing is we're turning on this pay with points. And so when we turn on pay with points, when you have the switch, we're really just connecting another loyalty partner to our loyalty switch. And so the benefits from that are huge, right? You're getting new customers, they're redeeming someone else's points at your site. It's fully funded, it's a huge win. And to turn some of those programs on has no effort at the retail level. It's all work at our level, which if you're selling something to a fuel retailer and you tell them, by the way, you've already invested in the technology, you don't have to do anything, just let us do it and we'll turn it on. Again, I used to work for BP for years. If someone told me that's the effort, I'd be like, sign me up, let's go. And if it fails, I'm like, shut it off. It's not a big deal.